Hello everyone and welcome to the Carmen Shue Real Estate Show, featuring my highly popular and successful seminar, A Practical Guide to Buying a Co-op, a Condo or a House, Things You Should Know and Mistakes to Avoid, which I have presented at the New York Public Library for approximately 12 years. I am Carmen Shue, the president and owner of Shue Realty Inc. and the host of this show. Shue Realty is located in Midtown Manhattan, so if you are in the market to buy, rent, sell, or even invest in real estate, please give us a call at 212-687-1944 or 646-319-8831, or you can email us at leisurerealty@aol.com. For the benefit of those people who are seeing the show for the first time, let me give you a little background how this show works. Each week I present a different topic on real estate, and each week the show has 3 segments. The first segment is the introduction to the show, where I tell you a little about myself. In the second segment, I speak on a topic on real estate, and in the third segment, I speak about the issues facing people living in co-op and condo buildings. Having said that, as part of my credentials, I am a licensed real estate broker, a speaker, a writer, and a published author, and I have contributed to articles appearing in Real Estate Weekly and Brokers Weekly, the papers of our industry, and other reputable publications. In addition to the New York Public Library, a couple of banks and famous church have all hosted my seminar. In 2005, a famous cruise line invited me to present my successful seminar on one of their cruises. In 2006, Real Estate Weekly, the papers of our industry, added my name to its list of honorees as one of their rising stars. And in 2017, a professor from NYU International School of Real Estate was watching my show, and he invited me to do a couple of presentations at his classes. As a former board member and an assistant treasurer for a reputable Upper West Side condominium for approximately 6 years, I was considered to be the key catalyst for saving the condominium from going into bankruptcy by reducing costs in several areas, such as renegotiating long-term contracts and sweetheart deals, comparison shop for goods and services, which manifested in the unnecessary increases in their common charges for several years. Because of the popularity and the success of my seminar at the New York Public Library, I am very much excited about bringing it to you on television, particularly since I am in the real estate industry. I feel compelled to give vital information and important tips to the public about what they should do and should not do when purchasing real estate. After attending several real estate seminars and watching many real estate television shows over the years, I have come to the conclusion that this show is different from all other real estate shows. Why? Because I find that everyone is telling the public to buy real estate, but I'm the only one who is telling the public about the pitfalls that they might encounter when they purchase real estate. Look, I am not sitting here every week telling the public to not buy real estate, because in my opinion, I believe that purchasing real estate is one of the best investments one can ever make, but only if you know what you're getting into before you sign on the dotted lines. On this show, I give you the ins and outs of buying real estate, and I use the no-nonsense, tell-it-like-it-is approach, and I practically hold your hands and walk you through the process. And if you follow the process that I am about to impart to you, you should have no regrets after you've made the purchase. The information I am about to impart to you comes from many years of personal experience and research from governmental agencies. While this program is geared toward first-time buyers, it is also for those people who have already made their purchases so that they can evaluate their mistakes if there are any. The tips I will be giving you are simple. They are elemental, but they will work for you if you follow them. During the course of the show, I will be giving you the whole concept of purchasing real estate, which can be used whether you're purchasing a little studio apartment in Manhattan, a 3-family house in Hong Kong, or a mansion in Palm Beach, now or 100 years from now. The concept still remains the same. The difference in purchasing real estate in any part of this country, or any part of the world for that matter, is the real estate laws. While I will be focusing on the purchase of co-ops and condos because they are a common form of real estate ownership in New York City, I certainly will be giving you enough information to assist you with the purchase of a private house. This program is meant to inform, educate, and empower new buyers of real estate and to assist you in making wise choices by preventing you from making costly mistakes. This clear and simple program will help eliminate many of the fears and anxieties that you will have when buying or even selling real estate. It will offer you a unique opportunity to learn valuable lessons of the things you should do and should not do when purchasing real estate. Long before you start looking to purchase real estate, you, the buyer, must put together a team of experts to walk you through the process. And that team of experts should include an experienced real estate broker, an experienced real estate attorney, and if possible, an experienced banker. And you, the buyer, must make sure that all these people are looking out for your best interest. However, it will take a very savvy buyer to put this team together, and one gets savvy by following the practical guide I am about to impart to you. While many Americans have made wise choices to eat healthier, my mission is to have all Americans change the way how they go about purchasing real estate so that they do not make costly mistakes or, even worse, lose their homes through foreclosure. If you need more information about this show or Shue Realty Inc., you can call us at 212-687-1944 or 646-319-8831, or you can email us at LishueRealty@AOL.com, and we will be most happy to assist you. On the other hand, if you're inquisitive in knowing what we've been doing over the years, you can Google us. This is where I inform you, the public, that the information given on this show is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be used as a substitute for seeking legal advice. I urge you to contact an attorney and or an accountant for advice before you purchase real estate. I will now take a short break, and when I return, I will tell you what should be included in the contract of sale when purchasing real estate. Please do not go anywhere. I will be right back. Thank you. Welcome back to the Carmen Shue Real Estate Show. I am Carmen Shue, the president and owner of Shue Realty Inc. and the host of this show. Shue Realty Inc. is located in Manhattan, so if you are in the market to buy, rent, sell, or even invest in real estate, please give us a call at 212-687-1944 or 646-319-8831, or you can email us at LishueRealty@AOL.com, and we will be most happy to assist you. As promised, in this segment, I will tell you what should be included in the contract of sale when purchasing real estate. First, I'm going to explain to you what a contract is. A contract is an agreement between competent parties to do or not to do certain things which are legally binding. I want to make it perfectly clear to you that whatever is in the contract is what you get, nothing more or nothing less. You cannot renegotiate the contract of sale after it is signed. However, you can have an addendum to the contract but it must be agreed upon between both parties. It is very important that the buyer and the seller come to an understanding as to what will be left behind in the apartment or the house after the closing takes place, so that it does not come as a surprise to you. Do not assume that the seller is obligated to leave that nice chandelier that you fell in love with, the draperies, or even any of the appliances in the apartment or the house. After you have closed on the property, be particularly mindful of what will be left behind, especially if you're buying in a house in the suburbs, because I've heard of instances where the seller has stripped the house prior to closing. I would once again like to repeat myself that unless it is negotiated in the contract of sale, the seller is not obligated to leave any of the appliances in the apartment or the house. Therefore, before you sign a contract of sale, it will be in your best interest to be diligent in finding out from the real estate agent as to what items will be left in the apartment or the house after the closing takes place. And after it has been established, this must be stated in the contract of sale. The contract of sale is usually prepared by the seller's attorney and sent to the buyer's attorney for your signature, along with the required down payment. However, do not assume that after you have signed the contract of sale and have sent it back to the seller for their signature that you have a contract. You have a contract of sale when both the buyer and the seller sign the contract of sale, and you have a copy in your pretty little hands. While the contract of sale is on its way to the seller for his or her signature, and if the seller gets a better offer while the contract of sale is on its way to them, that seller can accept the better offer and do not sign your contract, especially if it is a hot market. Morally, it is not right, but it is quite legal. Therefore, if you are in a hot market where many people are bidding on the same property, it is in the buyer's best interest to sign the contract of sale and send it back to the seller's attorney with the required down payment as soon as possible. When you meet with your attorney to sign the contract of sale, he or she should review it with you thoroughly and answer any questions you may have in lay terms before you sign the contract of sale. Among other things that will be in the contract of sale is how much time you will have in getting a mortgage, and it's usually between 45 and 60 days. However, you, the buyer, and not your real estate agent or your attorney, must be diligent in following up with the bank at least once a week on the status of your mortgage. If you find that time is running out and you are unable to obtain a mortgage within the allotted time, you must advise your attorney immediately, who will in turn negotiate an extension with the bank and the seller's attorney. While most contract of sale in a real estate transaction is a written standard form, each contract must be tailored to the buyer's and seller's needs. Some items in the contract of sale might be altered or crossed out and replaced with a rider by your attorney. I will list some of the basic provisions that should appear in a contract of sale when purchasing real estate. 1. The name or names and current address of the buyer or buyers. That will appear on the deed if you're purchasing in a condominium or a house, and a stock certificate if you are purchasing a co-op. 2. The name or names and current address of the seller or sellers. 3. The address of the property that is being sold. 4. In the case of a condominium or a house, the block and the lot number. 5. The date of the contract of sale. 6. The purchase price of the property. 7. The amount of down payment or earnest money. 8. A legal description of the property. 9. The terms of the escrow agreement and the bank in which the down payment will be deposited. By law, your attorney must deposit your down payment in an interest-bearing account, and you should get a monthly statement from your attorney. 10. A list of all of the items that will be included in the sale of the house or the apartment. That is, appliances, furniture, window treatments, etc. 11. The time, date, and place where the closing will take place. 12. The name and address of the attorney representing the seller. 13. The name and address of the attorney representing the buyer. 14. The name and address of the real estate broker, if any. An inspection or walkthrough rider and signatures of all parties. This is the end of this portion of the show, and when I return, I will talk about the many issues facing people living in co-op and condo buildings. Please do not go anywhere. I will be right back. Thank you. Welcome back to the Carmen Lee Shue Real Estate Show. I am Carmen Lee Shue, the president and owner of Lee Shue Realty Inc. and the host of this show. Lee Shue Realty Inc. is located in Midtown Manhattan. So, if you are in the market to buy, rent, sell, or even invest in real estate, please give us a call at 212-687-1944 or 646-319-8831, or you can email us at leissuerealty@aol.com, and we will be most happy to assist you. As promised in this segment, I am going to talk about the many issues facing people living in co-op and condo buildings. Since 2010, State Senator Liz Krueger and other state senators have been introducing several bills which, if passed, would protect people living in co-op and condo buildings. Over the years, the many bills have gotten pushbacks from the Republicans when they were in power, and also from interest groups and the real estate industry, and also the Bar Association. Even though the Bar Association says there are laws on the books to protect people living in co-op and condo buildings, they know for a fact that these laws are antiquated, but they fail to upgrade the laws. And that is why State Senator Liz Krueger and other state senators felt it was necessary to pass a bill or pass a law that would protect people living in co-op and condo buildings. So I am going to read you a portion of State Senate Bill 2604. The bill creates the Office of the Cooperative and Condominium Ombudsman within the Department of Law to serve as a neutral, informative, and accessible resource available to cooperative and condominium residents, prospective shareholders and unit owners, board of directors and managers, and other affected parties. The bill went on to say that disputes have arisen among cooperative and condominium sponsors and developers, cooperative shareholders and condominium unit owners, prospective shareholders and unit owners, board of directors and board of managers. Such disputes often result in lengthy and costly litigation and uncertainty as to the right of the parties pending the outcome of the litigation. Such litigation diverts resources that could be better utilized to provide affordable and well-maintained buildings and grounds for the common good of the owners. This article is necessary to provide a neutral, informative, and accessible resource available to all parties involved in residential, cooperative, and condominium ownership and governance. The ombudsman appointed pursuant to this article will conduct outreach programs to educate unit owners and board of managers as to their legal rights and responsibilities. The ombudsman will encourage alternative dispute resolution when disputes do arise. The ombudsman will also provide monitoring and supervision of cooperative and condominium elections. This is only a portion of the proposed bill, and if passed, it will give us some respites from the tyrants and bullies and crooks that are serving on co-op and condo boards. If you have an interest in the bill, I suggest that you Google State Senate Bill 2604 and read it in its entirety. If you have been watching this show with any regularity over the past 13 years, you will see that I have been talking about the many issues facing people living in co-op and condo buildings. And I have gotten a lot of feedback from the public telling me how their boards are harassing them out of their apartments. I am astonished that people will spend $1 million, over $1 million purchasing their apartments, and then they give away their rights to a few people sitting on co-op and condo boards. I have knowledge and I've experienced harassment from my co-op board. In 2010, when I discovered that there was alleged fraud being committed in our building, and I have exposed the alleged fraud, the board took me to court to evict me from my apartment. They made up lies, allegations. They kept me in court for a year, and then at the end of the year, they withdrew their complaint. In 2014, I was being evicted again. The building's attorney told me that the board wants me out of the building and that he would keep me in court for years until I leave. He kept me in court for 3 years. And at the end of 3 years, the board withdrew their false allegations against me. And that is considered harassment. As it stands, a co-op board does not have to give a prospective buyer a reason for rejecting their application, and as you well know, that I think it stinks. Because as a real estate broker who takes prospective buyers to purchase an apartment in a co-op, it can be time-consuming, it can be stressful, and it can be very costly. This is how it works. After you have honed in on that particular apartment in a co-op building, you will have to submit a tremendous amount of paperwork to the board. And from time to time, they will come back to you for more information. After they're satisfied that you have submitted all the information that they have requested, you will have to make an appointment with the board to have a face-to-face meeting. And that face-to-face meeting can be very brutal. However, I suggest that before you have that face-to-face meeting, that your real estate broker and your attorney should prep you for that meeting. However, if you have positive questions, I would recommend that you ask those questions. If you have negative questions, I would wait and see if I am approved, and then if I am approved, I would run for the board. They can reject you for any and all reasons, including discrimination. The other issue I have with co-op and condo boards is that they can sit on the board perpetually. And I am recommending that they should have staggered term limit. Staggered term limit must be imposed on co-op and condo board members. It is not unusual for a co-op or a condo board member to sit on their board 40, 50 years, and even perpetually, or until they die, and they brag about it and they put it on their resumes. My recommendation is that a board member can sit on their board for 6 years, then step down for 2 years. And after 2 years, if they wish to run for the board again, then they can. But no one, and I mean no one, should be sitting on their co-op and their condo boards perpetually. My next issue is rules and regulations. Some boards will pass rules and regulations to spite the people that they don't like in the building. Moreover, when they pass these rules and regulations, they have no intentions of abiding by them. I have called up my board for passing illegal rules and regulations. If you find that your co-op or condo board members are not abiding by the rules and regulations that they have passed for everyone, including themselves, at some point you should get up the nerve and call them at it. And the best place to call them out is at the annual meeting and embarrass them. In my building, my next issue is quorum. Our board has not had a quorum since 2009. And the only reason why we had a quorum in 2009 is because some of the shareholders formed what is called the concerned shareholders, and we rallied the residents to come out and vote. This board doesn't make any effort to have the people come out and vote because it suits them fine. They get to sit on the board perpetually. My next issue is anti-harass law. Several years ago, City Council passed the anti-harass law, which protects people living in rent-controlled and rent-stabilized buildings from being harassed by their landlords to vacate their apartments so that the landlord can rent it for more money. If you live in New York City, you would have heard of that scenario. City Council even went further by putting teeth into the law where, if found guilty, a landlord can be fined anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 in fines for harassing their tenants to vacate their apartment. I applaud this law. However, I would like to see similar laws passed to protect people living in co-op and condo buildings when they're being harassed out of their apartments by their boards, the managing agent, or even the superintendent. This is the end of this show. Until next time, America, and especially New Yorkers, do something nice for yourself today, tomorrow, or any day, because you deserve it. And thank you so much for watching the show.